You see, your 20s are about experimenting and finding out who you are. But being able to have structure around your health and wellness will exponentially increase your ability to be successful in the future. Let's talk about how. Number one, dieting. And in all likelihood, you fall into one of two camps. Either you just finished school and you're moving back in with your parents, or you got your first job and you're able to move out on your own. So let's say you're the group who had to move back in with their parents. This is great because there's food in the fridge and in the cupboards. This is great for a cash flow perspective, but it's also a double-edged sword because the free food is all dependent on your family's eating habits and their opinions on health. So if you come from a family who doesn't make health a priority, the food on hand is probably highly processed. Sugary cereals, pasta, food out of a box, that kind of stuff. So if I were talking to you and you're trying to lose weight, I would highly recommend macro tracking. Macro tracking is breaking all your foods down into carbs, proteins, and fats. I have another video on it and I'll link it below. But if you are interested in this will help you use the foods that you have available. But when you track them in your food tracking app, you're able to make sure that you understand the calories you're intaking and where they're coming from, and you can kind of work within those parameters. It's an old school approach called if it fits your macros. It's not the most ideal approach, but if this is the environment you're put in right now, this is the best way to start your journey into a healthy lifestyle. And when you start to understand more about healthy foods, you'll be able to influence your family's choices. You can go to the grocery store with them and help them choose the right foods, and you can start to bring new habits into your own household. These things start to snowball over time, and you can actually positively affect your family's lives too. And on the flip side of that, you just got your first job, you decide to move out on your own, you and a roommate, or you found a studio apartment. This is great, you get some freedom. And if you want to make these changes in your life, you have total autonomy of the food that you're taking in. Unfortunately, the resources you have to purchase your own food is much smaller. Groceries add up pretty quickly, and if you're trying to make a life on your own, this can be very problematic. So if I were you, I would really be trying to impact my life using intermittent fasting. This is a calorie restriction diet where you have a fasting window and an eating window, where you're fasting for about 16 hours a day and eating for 8. You stop eating at 8 p.m. and you start eating again lunchtime the next day. Not only does this make you eat less, but it makes you be able to purchase the volume of food that you require for that day. So if you have very little money, your ability to buy whole nutritious foods, a little bit less. But if you restrict the amount of calories you're taking in using intermittent fasting, I think you'll really be able to stretch your dollar that much further. Secondly, strength training. Strength training is a must. And I know a lot of you out there can't afford a gym membership right now. They're getting very pricey. A lot of gyms out there now popping up that are $7 a month or $5 bi-weekly. They're starting to become options where you can get into a fitness facility for the price of a coffee a day. So if you direct your resources to this ability, I think you're going to get a way bigger return in your investment. And if that's just not in the cards, there's tons of home workouts you can do. Go on YouTube. You'll find them by the thousand. You can buy a kettlebell at Walmart for $40, and that can give you countless amounts of workouts. Some resistance bands, anything. Even body weight, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, anything you can do to move your body. All you really need to do to get going is these body weight workouts. And the great news for those of you in your 20s, you are in your prime muscle building years. So I highly recommend you take advantage of this. Any workout you want to do, anytime you can get in the gym and start lifting, your body's going to respond so well to these movements. Your hormones are high, everything's moving well. This is the peak time of your life. And personally, from a person on the other end of it, I'm so glad I took advantage of those years because they really helped me grow a new identity. Growing up overweight and obese, being able to take full advantage of my 20s and find that healthy life and feel confident and comfortable in my own skin, I promise, trust me, it's going to change the way you think about yourself. It's going to change the way you think about the world. Take advantage of this time. Lift weights. Time management. We don't have time issues, we have priority issues. You likely have less on your plate. And although it might not feel that way, you got a full-time job and you got all this stuff to do, you got no one else to help you with your errands but yourself, you want to spend all your extra time being social with friends. I get it. This is exactly what you should be doing. But if you can carve out that 20, 30, 40 minutes a day to lift weights, move your body, run, walk, anything, the spillover of that into your mood, the endorphins you'll be running through your body, will make you much more present when you're with your friends. You'll be a better listener. You'll be much more enjoyable to be around. Trust me, I know this firsthand. Alcohol and sleep. Attention all you weekend warriors. You're going to be burning the candle at both ends. I get it. You work all week, Friday night comes and you stay out late. You're up till 3 in the morning, up again at 11. Your sleep's getting all out of whack just to get back on the 8 to 4 schedule come Monday morning. This throws off your circadian rhythm and really impacts your ability to be able to lose weight. There was a study done where there's two groups given equal amount of calories, make sure they're in a calorie deficit. Where group A went to bed and woke up at the same times with 8 hours sleep, group B had offsetting sleep hours that weren't consistent and as little as 5.5 hours sleep. The results were staggering. Group B lost up to 55% less fat than the control group. This is likely due to the presence of cortisol in the system. When you're throwing off your sleep like that, it really builds up the stress hormone, which makes it truly hard to lose weight. So I know you want to be out at night, that's the fun part, but just be sure you're aware of the impacts this has on your ability to lose weight. Along with sleep, those late nights come with alcohol. So say you're starving yourself all week on this crazy diet of 1,000 or 1,100 calories per week. Then Saturday and Sunday comes and you binge 2,500 calories per day, plus 900 calories of alcohol per night. Well, if you add this up and do the average, this balloons your daily average up to over 1,800 calories. Still not a substantial amount, but so much more than you thought you were taking in. Starve and binge cycle, this yo-yo diet, it's totally unsustainable. And this is how most people quit. So just be aware, when you're out being social on the weekends, try to stick to alcohols with low calories or very low carbohydrates. And when you're out for that midnight snack, make sure you're choosing healthy options. Or wait for the next day. Maybe you're in your fasting window and you know you can't eat from 8 p.m. until 12 the next day. Be smart about it, get out there. It's not a motivation issue, it's a consistency issue. When I was 19 years old, I decided I was making a change in my life. And I started that with diet and exercise. And I was able to sustain this through my 20s, and it changed my entire identity. It made me feel more confident, it made me easier to be around, and it made me want to be more social. It was the best decision I've ever made. And if you're watching this video, I know you're thinking about it too. So trust me, make the change. You won't regret it. And these positive habits you pick up while doing something hard and that takes a lot of work, they trickle over in the rest of your life. Trust me. Look, you're in the best years of your life. Take advantage of it, but also take care of yourself. Feel your best and love the way you look. You owe it to yourself. It will positively impact everything in your life. You got this. I'll see you on the next one.